So following up with the money concept, right? The begging of family, and I know a lot of you can relate to this because most of you are first gen. When I say first gen, I mean first generation. When I say first generation, I mean a lot of you are the offspring of the parents that were, blessed and fortunate enough to leave where they were born, to leave the developing country they were born, come to the States and go to school here, get some type of education, learn what it means to be a Western citizen in the United States, and then, you know, buy property, work hard, earn a career, have a family, and have your offspring be citizens. You know what I mean? My father is one of those people. He came to this country back in 1988. My uncle that I went out there with my dad with, he's a few years older than him. He's gotten about like 3 or 4 years. He came here in 1984, and they're about 3 4 years apart. But they're like brothers. We grew up in the same house. My uncle owned the house. He bought property before my father did in the States, and we lived on the second floor of his first property as his tenants, and they lived on the first floor. Shout out to my uncle Wally, shout out to my auntie Joy, shout out to my cousin Tunde and my cousin Wande. Love all of y'all. So they were breaking down a lot of stuff, but my uncle Wally got here in 1984. My dad got here in 1988, and they came here for school. They got their visas. It was much easier back in those times. They got their visas to come here to go to school. After a year or two and of being here and seeing how this country worked, they were like, "Yo, we gotta we got some skills that we can bring to this country, specifically to Rhode Island, that will earn us some money, some big money, really quickly." So what they did was they started doing what they did best. They knew how to do drywall because everybody builds houses with cement and clay and all that stuff back home, and they knew how to clean. But not only did they know how to clean in Nigeria, in the U.S. this is going to be a cakewalk because the technology and the resources was fucking superior. So that's what they did. Cleaning business, construction business. They would work for, you know, construction guys and contractors, and just start hustling that way. And they would clean different, commercial buildings, City Hall, fucking Bank of Rhode Island. My uncle had a contract. He was one of the only minority owned businesses that, helped get the Providence Place Mall prepped back in 2000. And my father would, like, even though he had a full time job, he would contract with them, and they would go up in there and they would fucking make stupid bread. Providence Water contracts back in the 90s, like crazy history, bro. But they've always had a hustler's mentality, and it paid off. Like, if I tell y'all how fucking proud I am of my father, I've had a very, very turbulent relationship from age 13 to age 23 with my father for a decade because of a bunch of things. My parents separated when I was 10. Divorce was finalized when I was 12. And from that point until I graduated from Rhode Island College in 2013, I looked at my father a certain way because of how everything went down. He hired a woman that worked at his 9 to 5. He was a bus driver for First Student. And he hired a woman that also was a bus driver at First Student to help out our family business. And, long story less long, had an affair with her. This woman had befriended my mother because she was our employee. She was our one employee that wasn't family, because my brother and my mom and myself, we used to fold clothes. We had a contract with DCYF, and we would, wash, dry, and fold the clothes of three of the different tiers that they have over there at the training school, which is now called the Rhode Island, the Ritz, the Rhode Island Training School. But back then they had three different wards: Ward 3C, Ward 3C, They had 3, 7, and 11. Those were three of the tiers or whatever that they had, and we did the clothes for all three of those tiers. We had a contract with the state to do that for years. And this woman was hired to help us with that load. Bring the stuff to the laundromat, wash all the clothes, dry all the clothes, and then fold them. And it would be like fucking 60 to 80 like plastic bags full of laundry on Mondays after the weekends, and on Tuesday through Friday it would be less. It would be like 40, between 30 to 40. But like that's what I did from age 7 to age 12. That was my life. Like folding clothes, pillowcases, socks, briefs, boxes for training school kids. That was the primary source of our income, because my father worked full time at the bus station still at First Student, which was then Ryder. And my mom quit her job. She quit being a CNA about 4 months away from reaching tenure at 10 years to run the dry cleaners that we had as a family. And my dad hired this woman to work with us, and she befriended my mom. And then, a little later down the line, they had an affair and all that stuff. And so because of that, I looked at my dad a certain way. I lost respect for him. He broke up our family. We went to church 3 times a week, youth group, Bible study, Sunday service, all that shit. And, he fucked it all up. Broke my mom's heart, threw her into a depression. I didn't find out about it until I was 18, that she, contemplated suicide, all this stuff. So for a very long time, I looked at him like, yo, this nigga ain't shit. Straight up, respectfully. You know what I mean? And at 23, I had, went through some early stages of therapy, and went through my own personal battle with depression, when I was 19 going on 21 when I was in college. I used sex as a weapon to make myself feel better and to give myself value. So, I never misled any women about what I was and where I was in my life, but I also didn't feel bad about having sex and not responding, not calling, not texting, not making an effort to stay connected with them after the fact. I would tell them I'm broke. I ain't got money to take you on a date. I would tell them, or whatever. I would tell them the truth. Like, I don't got money to take you on a date. I have no interest in being serious, this and that. I'm just focused on school because I'm homeless. I have to live on campus because my family is homeless. I don't have the capacity to work because school is my only way out. All those things. So I told the truth. But I also told the truth, understanding that in the back of my mind, that if I ever were to get any physical pleasure out of this thing, then that's going to be what it is. And I'm going to kind of just move on and just do my thing. You know what I mean? So I wasn't untruthful or misleading about it in any way. It's just that I already knew what was up. And I, as the person that I am now, I feel bad knowing that none of those women ever had a chance, even though I told them in that moment there was no way I could emotionally give them any of that, because I was worried about, when I graduate from school, when I finish Rhode Island College, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Where am I going to live? All those things. Because at the time, my mom, my brother, and I, we were all separated and living in different places. And when I had winter break, spring break, whatever, summer break and all that shit, I had to stay at friends' homes and sleep on people's couches because I didn't have a home to go to. Our apartment, we got evicted. You know what I mean? So anyway, I say all that to say, during that time when I was in college, there was a lot of growth that happened. There was a lot of transition. And I had a conversation with my dad a couple weeks before my graduation. And I told him, sitting in his car, or sitting in his wife's car, he had dropped me off. He had took me to run an errand or whatever. And it was literally like a week or two before graduation. I told him I forgave him. And he said, for what? And I said, for breaking up our family. For breaking up our family. You brought this woman in to our family to help with our family business. Ended up having an affair with her. Ended up divorcing our mom. Ended up marrying this woman, which is something he promised me he wouldn't do. And in this very same conversation I'm having with him a week or two before my graduation, he denied it. And I was like, this guy, this motherfucker. But it is what it is. Like I said, it's water under the bridge. We ended that conversation on a cordial note, and we moved on. But I told him, I forgave him because I needed to. You know what I mean? Like I needed to forgive him so I can have all of that unrest in my heart just poof go away. So that's what I did. That's what I did. I forgave him, and it was a hard thing to do. I contemplated it for days. We even wrote some stuff down on loose leaf and like balled it up and threw it and kept rewriting like how I would approach the conversation, because my father's a very hard, old school Yoruba man. If you know anything about Nigerian men who are like from there and speak their dialect and all of that shit, they're a different breed. My father's a different breed. And, ever since I forgave him and we had that conversation, I've noticed as he's gotten older, he truly has gotten softer as a man, which I never thought I would see. And it all started when his second wife, my stepmom, passed away. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucked up. And I talked about this before, but I needed to see that my father wasn't just this super stern, like hyper masculine man. I needed to see that he was human. I needed to see him be emotional. I needed to see him cry. I needed to see him in pain. I've never seen him sad. I've only seen him on one fucking mode my entire life before my stepmother passed away. God bless the dead. You know what I'm saying? So that was eye-opening. I was like, okay. So he does have emotions outside of just like this stern, strict Nigerian-ness thing that's happening. And I told him I wanted to learn more about him. I wanted to know more about where he came from. So 5 years ago, actually almost 6 years ago, 2019, I was like, I want to go to Nigeria. I want to go to Nigeria. This is before I knew the fucking flight was 12 hours from Atlanta to fucking Africa, with the 2-hour trip from Providence to Atlanta to connect, with no fucking possible way that you're not going to get a layover and have to be stuck in Atlanta for fucking at least 5 hours. So it took 19 hours for us to get there, full day. And it took a little more than that to get back yesterday. It's a full day trip, and you're going to be tired as fuck. And there's no such thing as sleeping on a plane on a 12-hour ride. You lucky if you get 30 minutes every 2 hours. Super uncomfortable, bro. Super uncomfortable. I learned a lot about myself on the flight there and on the flight back. And don't eat. Fast if you can, because you don't want to have to take a shit on a plane, because those airplanes are gross. Airplane bathrooms are too tight. I'm a big nigga. So I don't recommend. And I didn't. I was able to fly to and from and not have to do that. But yeah, man, going to Nigeria, meeting my father's cousins and all of that stuff, like, it's impossible for them to not feel like you're successful. And he does have a home. He does own multiple properties there. And his house his house in Ondo is amazing. If y'all seen the Instagram video, the floor, the tiles on his first and second level, and the bathrooms, it's amazing. It's amazing. And every house there for people that are considered upper class in that high echelon, every single bedroom, every single house has 4 bedrooms minimum. 4 minimum. That's just what they do. And every bedroom has a bathroom, a full bathroom. Not no partial shit. Has a toilet and a shower. You know what I mean? They don't do bathtubs out there. They don't waste water like that. They're not wasteful like us. So full bathroom out there is a shower and a toilet. Unbelievable. And like, going back to what I said about me and my dad's family, we went back there because my auntie, who I did not know, passed away. She died last year in 2023. But my dad needed time to, get his affairs in order over here My father's he owns a very successful delivery company out of Seekonk. He has a contract. Well, he's a FedEx subsidiary, so he owns a FedEx franchise. And he has 18 trucks, 13 drivers. So he owns 13 routes. And I'm actually about to help him pick his new contract on Sunday, which is crazy. But over there, like my uncle is one of the chiefs. He's a chieftain. And you get chief status by being active in the community, being a business person, being a homeowner, all those things. You get roped into all of this, and it's duty. It's all duty based. It's all servant leadership based. You don't got no fucking choice. If you're gonna be active and you're gonna spend your money to better the community of where you grow up, you are going to be bestowed chief status, and it's old school but super dope. And my father, he's not a chief in Ondo, and I think that's by choice, but he gets chief like privileges, and because he's a successful man here and he's a property owner of multiple properties over there, bruh, everybody wants a piece of him. You think when you go to visit family in another state here in the US, people aren't like, hey, oh my God, how are you? So nice to meet you, Wole. Welcome to Houston. Now give me $25. Nigga. It's like that over there. Welcome to Dallas. Welcome to San Diego. Finally, we got you on the West Coast. How you liking it? Now, can I have $50? Bro, that shit is ignorant as fuck to me, bro. Like, I'm here for the first time trying to experience your culture. And what I'm saying about your culture is, y'all niggas is rude. Y'all are greeting your cousin from the States, your nephew from the States, for the first time ever. He or she took the time out of their life because of sheer curiosity to fly home and experience what it's like to be in the motherland. We wanted to meet y'all. We wanted to greet y'all. We wanted to see how you looked, how you dressed, how you smelled, the whole shebang. And all of that is ruined immediately as soon as you say, give me something, daddy, give me something. I'm 34 years old, I ain't got no fucking children. Why is a 50-something-year-old woman calling me daddy? Because she wants money. Why are my younger cousins who are 6-7 years older than me calling me uncle? Because I have seniority, because I am older, I have more life experience. That means something out there. Complete culture shock, bro. And like, I'm always gonna feel a way about people in the Nigerian world asking for money, because it is an arrogant, privileged thing that exists in the States in a different way that I will never fuck with and I will never respect. I gave away a lot of money. I gave away thousands of naira, tens of thousands of naira, which in our money is only like maybe I probably gave away like $200, which ain't shit. I know that now, that at $200 ain't shit. Ain't shit at all. $200 to me here ain't shit. When I start spending 1,000 in a day, that's when it's like, oh, what the fuck are you doing, Wole? But over there, 100K, bro, I could give somebody 50K and not even break a sweat. But I'm literally sweating because it's Africa. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's nothing. You give somebody $2 and they're doing a backflip. You give them 2K of their money and they're like, okay, all right, thank you, daddy, thank you, oh, thank you so much. And the people who don't ask for it and get it, they're obviously going to be more grateful. But the people that ask for it, don't give them shit. I don't care if you're in Nigeria. I don't care if you're in fucking Dominican Republic. I don't give a fuck if you're in Haiti. No, actually, if you're in Haiti, give them that. They need that. No shade, no shade. But yo, man, I could talk about this shit for hours. Literally, I could talk about this shit for hours because there's so much stuff that's popping up into my head. But I'm gonna leave it at that, bro. I'm gonna leave it at 2 parts because I feel like that would be OD if I did anything more than that. And I guess you guys are just gonna have to wait for the next episode of the pod, which is gonna be interesting because I'm gonna be talking about my trip to Africa, and I'm also gonna be talking about this Kendrick thing, Kendrick and Drake. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna end with that. I'm not gonna end on that note. I just needed y'all to know that I am incredibly proud of my dad. I'm incredibly proud of where I come from a culture perspective, as it pertains to the leadership that I've seen from my father. He has a lot on his shoulders, more than I can ever imagine. Everybody wants a piece of that man. And I see a lot of who I am as a person. I thought I got it from just my grandmother and my mom, but I get it from my father and my late uncles and auntie too. Like service and leadership, serving leadership is in my blood. And I'm trying to fight back tears as I close this out because I didn't realize just how much pressure is on him to take care of his business here in the States, manage his properties that he has here in the States, dealing with family shit here with myself and my brother and his youngest brother, who also lives in Rhode Island, that he had to move here because of all the fucking bullshit that he was getting into, being a degenerate alcoholic and gambler in Nigeria and disgracing the family name. Having to deal with his remaining sibling that's over there and all of his cousins that are over there that are broke as fuck and all of their kids and everybody needing something. I have a newfound respect for my dad. And I never imagined that I would come out of this trip feeling more empathy for him. You know what I mean? And in wanting to actually insert myself and do my familial duty to a certain extent within reason of assisting him with some of that burden. And all of it is financial because these motherfuckers don't care about feelings. The African, they just care about survival and they need money to survive. And we have more of that than they'll ever have. And so in closing, like I said in part 1, I don't want to hear nothing from any of y'all about what you don't have, how hard life is. You don't know what struggle is. You don't have to work all day and sit in front of a shop trying to sell cleaning supplies and fruit and snacks and and the fruit and the snacks that you're selling are things you have to make. You got to go out 4:30, 5 a.m. in the morning and pick the bananas from the tree, pick the mangoes from the trees, and collect that shit in a basket. Walk another 2 miles with that shit on your head in a fucking bucket and bring it to your setup and display it and sell it and hope you make enough money to be able to, pay whatever expenses you have. Buy water, fresh water in a bottle so you don't have to fucking go and source it from a well or from the ocean and boil it, which costs money because you need the firewood and all of it. I don't want to hear nothing from any of y'all niggas about your struggle ever again. That's dead. That's dead. It was already dead. I didn't want to hear it because you live here and you're fine. But I really don't want to hear that shit. I'm not having that conversation with any of you motherfuckers anymore. At all. I'm going to hit you with the deuces and walk out the room. I'm going to be like, nah, we're not on that. We're not doing that. We're not fucking doing that. So, anyway, shout out to the motherland. Pop, I love you. Uncle Wally, I love you. Shout out to all my cousins out there. Love you guys too. And, yeah, man, I'm definitely going to be back in 2025, but I ain't no rush because that fucking flight is long as fuck. And it's up when I go back because I'm bringing some Nigerians from Rhode Island out there. We going together. We going to go to Lagos and we going to wild out and do something a little different. But anyway, y'all be good, man. I'll holla. Peace.